This video is brought to you by Grainger Warranty, your #1 online source for factory-backed extended warranties in the country.
There has been a steady incline of SUVs over the last 20 years. So does that mean the sedan is just dying? Well, if you look at most of the major car companies, you'll see that they have dwindled down their sedan lineup drastically, with some companies getting rid of them altogether. Are sedans becoming obsolete? Are they needed at all? Well, that depends entirely on a person's needs, right? While an SUV makes the most sense for families, an SUV might be overkill for a young driver or just someone that doesn't have a family yet, or someone primarily in a city setting. So what exactly is still enticing about a sedan? SUVs obviously take the cake when it comes to space, but that doesn't mean a midsize sedan like this Honda Accord isn't spacious. With cargo room of 16.7 cubic feet, that's not bad at all. Plus, this has a 60-40 split, which you can drop down the seats from these two little toggles for even more room. It does have kind of a lip here, so it's not completely flat, but still you can get a ton of long things in here. Underneath the subfloor of the trunk, you're gonna find your tire repair kit and a couple extra little cubbies for storage. However, no spare is offered in this Honda Accord because this is a hybrid. Not to mention, the interior is also quite spacious. I've got 41 inches of legroom, a lot of legroom to spare, about 37 inches of headroom. For me at 5'7", this is pretty comfortable, but the Accord does have quite a bit of a slope to it. So if you're any taller than me, like my cameraman who's 6 feet tall and he is scrunching right now, this may be uncomfortable, but for someone on the shorter size, this is pretty good. We've got couple cup holders here, squish factor, pretty delightful. It does have 2 USB-C ports and some air vents, which actually I'm gonna need to turn on pretty soon. Oh, and look at this. We've got heated seats in the back too. And I'm not just talking about the back seat passengers, but the driver will also be pretty comfortable. 42 inches of legroom and that same 37 inches of headroom for the front seats. But most importantly, the seats are very comfortable. In this touring trim, you'll find heated and ventilated leather front seats, as well as a heated leather-wrapped steering wheel. But it is important to note that the driver's seat is the only one that's going to get thigh adjustments and lumbar support. To top it off, the drive itself is quite pleasant. It has a 2-liter 4-cylinder motor as part of Honda's 2-electric motor hybrid system, making a combined 204 horsepower, 247 pound-feet of torque. It's got a 0 to 60 in about 6.7 seconds. So no, it's not necessarily fast, but it was never meant to be. It cruises along and soaks up the bumps in the road, giving you a very pleasant driving experience. Plus, with safety features like adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist, it makes long-haul drives a breeze. However, when you have larger wheels like these 19s, you can end up with a thinner sidewall tire, which can make impacts with potholes more abrupt and harsh. Overall, the exterior looks great. It's conventional and doesn't have any spots that are too loud or polarizing. It's just your traditional mid-size sedan, which is what is going to work for most. So it's got space, it's got comfort, but what about tech and just overall layout of the interior? Well, that's not an issue either. This Accord Touring has a 12.3-inch infotainment screen with Google built in, Apple CarPlay, and Android Auto with Alexa. And I have to say, it has a very easy to use, very colorful interface. I do appreciate this a lot. You'll notice it's got paddle shifters on the steering wheel. Obviously, that's not to downshift or upshift because this doesn't have a traditional transmission, but more so to go through different regen settings. So when your foot is off the accelerator, you can shift this down through 6 different regen settings, 1 being freewheeling, 6 the most aggressive regen stopping, which is pretty nice to be able to have those types of adjustments at the tip of your fingers. This video is brought to you by Grainger Warranty, the leading online manufacturer-backed extended warranty dealer in the country, covering nearly every make and model, including this Honda Accord. With Grainger, you can save up to $1,000 on your extended factory-backed warranty, and they'll fix up your ride with OEM parts installed by OEM-trained techs. Go to GraingerWarranty.com or click on that link below. It has a very eye-catching mesh design for the air vents, which really helps break up the dash, which is very monochrome with all of this black. But most importantly, these buttons. Honda has always had, I thought, some of the best click actions for their temperature controls, and I just love how everything is very easy to use and readily at your fingertips. Below here, you'll find 2 other USB-C ports and a wireless phone charging pad. Below that, a couple things I love and hate. One thing I love, an actual shift knob. Nothing too fancy or reinventing the wheel. Love to see that. One thing I don't like is all of the piano black. We have quite a bit of it in this center console here, which is not what I want to see, because not only is it going to collect dust, but it is going to show up all of those scratches. In either case, it's not an entirely too much, but it is still there. Down here is where you're going to find your drive mode selections. You've got 4 different drive modes: individual, sport, normal, and econ. Overall, everything is very intuitive and flows very nicely. When it comes to fuel economy, that's definitely something that a sedan is going to win over an SUV. Now, there's a couple different powertrain options for the Accord. You can get the gas-powered 1.5 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, which has a combined 32 mpg, but this Accord hybrid has a combined 44 mpg. You can ride in comfort while this is only sipping on gas. Now, this is the Accord Touring, which is the top trim, the big dog. But the nice thing is there are 6 different trim levels offered on the Accord, starting with the LX at only $29,000. But if you're really looking for mainly that hybrid powertrain, but you don't want to pay for top dog money, then you can get the base sport trim, which starts at about $35,000. However, the big fancy touring trim has a price tag of a little over $40,000. But listen, we're in a day where our market of a brand new car is the average of $50,000. So this Accord hybrid is shaping up to be a pretty good deal. So much of a good deal, over 160,000 units were sold last year. That is actually on par with the Toyota Highlander at 164,000 units. But if we're talking about sedan sales dwindling, it's important to mention the most popular sedan sold last year, the Toyota Camry, with over more than 300,000 units sold. That's more than the most popular SUV, the RAV4, at only 239,000 units sold. So, are sedans dying? Not necessarily, but there are significantly fewer options to choose from. Should they die? Absolutely not. There is still a huge market of people where a mid-size sedan like this Honda Accord hybrid would be the perfect fit. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. This is Jen. Check out alltfl.com for even more content. We'll see you next time.